Yo, world, I got a question. What's next? What's next? Racism, discrimination, prejudice. What's next? Killing, mangling, strangling, knees on necks. What's next? I got a question. What's next? We're living in a broken, fallen society, one that we're being judged by the color of our skin. You don't even have a chance to see the content of our character. As soon as you see the color of our skin, you begin to make judgment. As soon as we walk into your stores, you want our money, but you also judge us. You also racially profile us when we walk into your stores. Now your stores are on fire. Now you're silent. You want to blame the very ones that you've been blaming for everything. This has been going on for hundreds of years. People have been oppressed. Black people have been oppressed, have been treated like dogs because of the color of their skin. Spit on, beat, mauled, hung, strangled, shot, drugged because of the color of their skin. This is the world we're living in. We're seeing civil unrest breaking out all across the country. People rioting, people looting. Entire cities on fire. When is it going to stop? When is true change going to happen? Will we ever see true change? I don't know. Because in the midst of the looting and the rioting, we see a lot of white people. But I need you to know something. Just because you're white and you're out there rioting and you're looting, it doesn't mean that you have joined our cause. No. You're simply only doing something, you're capitalizing and trying to benefit off the pain and the struggle of others, off the pain and the struggles of our blackness. So when you're running out of a store and you have a new TV and a Keurig machine that you're gonna go put your coffee in that you already bought from another store in a neighborhood that's not in the one that you're looting, you feel that you could put a hand up and say, I loot with black people. Wow. This is the world we're living in. We're being judged by the color of our skin. This wall depicts a great picture. Blackness. But this blackness has a crack right down the middle of it. Our blackness has had a crack right down the middle of it since the beginning. We've never stood a chance. We're here in America, and it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you have billions of dollars. It doesn't matter. If you're in that vehicle, you're driving that vehicle, and you hit that corner, if a law enforcement gets behind you, the first thing you do is freeze. The first thing you do is your heart begins to race, and you're just like, oh my God, like please, like what did I do? I mean, you could be innocent. You don't have to have anything. Illegal on you, none of that matters. The moment you see a police officer, you have fear. Why do I have fear? I have fear because they're going to judge me. They're going to racial profile. I think they're behind me because they've already began to racially profile me. Oh my God, did they just, yep, they just turned their lights on. Oh no, okay. Everybody in the car, please don't talk. Don't say anything. Don't talk. Be quiet. Okay, huh? Okay. Oh, here it comes. Okay, I didn't do it. Okay, hold on. I don't have anything. I didn't even have anything. Was I speeding? No, I wasn't even speeding. Oh my God, okay. Just be cool, man. Be cool, man. Just be cool. No, yeah, don't reach. Just don't reach for anything. Okay, here he comes. Yeah, he's coming now. He's coming. Hello, officer. But meanwhile, at the first interaction, my heart is racing, and I just don't know that this is a white man that's walking up, and I just don't know that if this white man woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or if he has hatred in his heart towards blackness, if this is the day that will be my last day because I had an encounter with somebody who had a black heart. And when I say a black heart, meaning someone who possessed a heart of hatred for everything that was black. This is the type of season that we're living in. It's been going on for years. What just happened to George Floyd was a public representation of a silent pandemic that's been going on for so long. This thing has been going on for hundreds of years. This is a generational thing. We're dealing with ancestral lineage that has been burdened and bound and has carried these generational traits from generation and family, but this rests on both sides. So you have the slave owner, who's the owner of the slaves, the one that tells you you're nobody, you're worthless, you're stupid, you work for me, you'll never be anything, all you're gonna do is do what I tell you to do, this is your life, this period, this is it. But now you have the slaves, the ones that have the scars on their back and their hands, and the ones that have been broken and beaten and raped. You have the slaves, you have the slaves who supposedly were freed, but we've never been freed. And so you have the slaves now that as they began to die off over the course of the hundreds of years, and their families are birthed to new generations and generations, that same generational spiritual lineage and that brokenness has traveled, that oppression has traveled. And so now what we're seeing is hundreds of years of oppression, of buildup of our ancestors, of our own personal experiences that we've encountered since we've been here on this earth with our skin. We watch the video, we see George Floyd executed in broad daylight. He's executed in broad daylight. We see this. He's on his knees. He got his hands in his pocket. Hands in his pocket. Got his hands in his pocket. He's chilling. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. He's telling this man he couldn't breathe. He was broken. He was breaking his neck. His stomach was hurting. His nose was bleeding. He was foaming at the mouth. This man was so despondent. He knew what he was doing. He was neutralizing. He was killing. His plan was to kill that black man in that street. And that's what he did. And now, hundreds of years of pain, hundreds of years of oppression has just been unleashed into the world. This is something that you don't want to open up, and it's too late. This is a bottle cap that once you untwist this bottle cap and it begins to overflow because of that and that color, you can't put it back in the bottle. You can't put oppression back into the bottle of oppression. You can't, it's not gonna be contained there no more, because it recognizes that I'm no longer going to suffer and stand for this. You're no longer just gonna kill me in broad daylight. You're no longer just gonna control my life because of the way that I was born, because of the way that God created me. Why would you do these types of things in my life? These are the moments in history that we're living in. These are the times. These are the times we're hurt. We're a broken people. We've been oppressed. We've been depressed. We've been anxious. And we've been in fear. And because of all those things, we're no longer going to tolerate the insensitive nature of white people and their discrimination, their racial profiling, their judgment. And unfortunately, a lot of this comes right from the leader of this nation, who's championing the hate, championing the suffering of the thugs, as he calls them. When is it going to change? Who will be next? Will you open up your eyes to this mess and to the spiritual pandemic at hand, to the racial pandemic at hand, and understand that this is a time where you could go into rebellion, you could go into that place of where you don't care and you don't want to be who you're called to be anymore. But let me tell you, he's protected. That man got that big dog because he knew. I wasn't gonna mess with him, but he knew that there's some people out here that might not have his best interests at heart. But Father God, I just pray for protection over that man right there, and I pray over a hedge of protection over all the ones, Father, that are out there that are spewing hate in this world to our people. I pray for our people. I pray for the broken ones. I pray for the family of George Floyd. I pray for his life. I pray that his name will become synonymous with true change. We got to get this right. We got to rise up. Change is here. Revival is here. Let's switch riots to revivals. Peace.